to silent screams. Tonight, we'll delve into 3 chilling tales that remind us how fragile the boundary between reality and the unknown truly is. Sit back, turn off the lights, and let the shadows speak. The last day of school. It should have been a time of celebration, relief, and goodbyes. But for me, it was the day my life turned into a nightmare. It started as any other final school day. I was sitting in my usual seat, staring at the clock as it ticked closer to dismissal. The air buzzed with the usual chaos, students laughing, teachers reminding us to take everything home, and the faint scent of summer seeping through the open windows. But something was off. I couldn't quite place it, but there was this heaviness in the air, like the school itself didn't want us to leave. Our last class ended early, so a group of us decided to explore the old wing of the building. Everyone called it the Annex, but no one really went there anymore. It had been abandoned for years, shut down after a mysterious fire. Some of the older teachers whispered about a janitor who disappeared the same night the wing was closed. No one knew if it was just a story to keep us out, or if there was more to it. We pushed open the creaking doors to the annex, the smell of burnt wood and mildew instantly filling the air. The light from the hallway barely reached inside, leaving the corridor shrouded in shadows. Dust swirled around us, disturbed for the first time in years. My friend Jamie, always the brave one, pulled out her phone to use as a flashlight. "This place gives me the creeps," said Laura, her voice trembling slightly. "Relax," Jamie scoffed. "It's just an old hallway. What's the worst that could happen?" Her words echoed ominously as we ventured deeper. At first, it was just broken desks, faded posters, and graffiti-covered walls. But then we noticed something strange. A single locker, pristine and shiny, standing at the end of the hall. It looked completely out of place, as if it had just been installed. Jamie, of course, couldn't resist. "Let's see what's inside," she said, grinning as she grabbed the handle. The moment she opened it, the air changed. It grew cold, unnaturally so, and a faint whispering sound filled the hallway. At first, we thought it was wind, but there were no windows. Then we heard it clearly, a voice, faint but unmistakable. It sounded like a child, sobbing softly. Laura bolted, screaming, but the rest of us stood frozen. Jamie reached into the locker, pulling out a small, dusty notebook. Its cover was blackened, as though it had been in a fire. The sobbing stopped the moment she touched it. That's when the lights began to flicker. We turned to leave, but the hallway didn't look the same. Where there had been a straight path to the exit, now there were doors. Dozens of them, all identical, stretching endlessly in both directions. "What the hell is going on?" I whispered, my voice barely audible over the sound of my pounding heart. "Maybe we're imagining this," Jamie said, clutching the notebook tightly. Suddenly, one of the doors creaked open. The room beyond was pitch black, but we could hear something inside, scraping like nails on a chalkboard. Jamie stepped closer. "Maybe there's someone in there." "Don't," I shouted, but it was too late. She stepped into the room, and the door slammed shut behind her. We pounded on the door, screaming her name, but it wouldn't budge. Then, through the small window in the door, we saw her. She was standing in the center of the room, staring at us. But her face, it wasn't her face. Her eyes were hollow, her mouth stretched into an unnatural grin. She raised a hand and waved at us, then turned and disappeared into the darkness. Laura and I ran, not caring which direction we took. The whispering returned, louder this time, overlapping voices that seemed to come from every door. My legs felt like lead, but adrenaline kept me moving. When we finally burst through a set of double doors, we found ourselves in the gymnasium. It was empty, eerily silent. We tried to catch our breath, but the moment we stopped, the gym lights flickered on. Rows of chairs were set up in the middle of the room, facing the stage. On the stage stood the same pristine locker we had found in the annex, and beside it, Jamie. She was holding the notebook, her head tilted unnaturally to one side, staring straight at us. Her lips parted, and in a voice that wasn't hers, she said, "You shouldn't have come here.